My name is Kimon Salmas and this is Heather Muller. We are the design team that work for Internal Developers, a wholly subsidiary of Brawl Property Group, and we did the office fit out for this project.
So our client is Thebe Investment Corporation, and they are a long-standing historical South African investment corporation within Sandton, and we just finished their office fit out for their new head office within Sandton.
So I think between Heather and I, we highly looked at African modernism. I think what we tried to implement was using a lot of geometric shapes and bringing in the pops of color in terms of the corporate CI. We also looked at bringing in a lot of earthy elements such as stone flooring finishes, marble looking cupboards, countertops, bringing in the timber elements on the tables, timber slats, and then bringing in also the real earthy fabrics. Like we used patterns, we used the warm browns, the greens.
Our concept for the Thebe office fit out was inspired, as Kimon mentioned, by African modernism and how we would couple that with the Thebe Investment Corporation, how they have this long, deep-rooted history within South Africa, geographically, economically, and socially, and how we would tie that back into the interior in a contemporary manner.
Based off past experiences that we had with projects, we incorporated those into this project. We also introduced higher ceilings, and we used a lot of recessed bulkheads, flush plaster, zoning elements to spatial recognize the different areas and departments within Thebe.
Something different that we also implemented was, instead of just doing drop-down bulkheads in certain key areas, we actually did include drop-down ceiling grids over the open plan areas, as those are also key working areas within the space.
And another element that we added is staying away from the traditional whiteboard boards. We introduced neon green and black whiteboards, where I think something different. Clients will appreciate that.
Even though every construction project within the industry has many challenges, this project did have one or two challenges that we did overcome. One of them namely being load shedding, which did impact some of our suppliers and manufacturers in terms of producing the materials or the products on time. But we were fortunately able to mitigate that by managing the clients as well as the timeline to ensure that our deadline was met. And I think it worked very well because we had a very understanding clients, and because we remained transparent with them, they stayed with us every step of the way, so they knew the process of the project.
The project was very successful because one of the key elements that happened, which made us realize that it was a great success, was as soon as the client opened the front door and saw the project, he had the biggest smile on his face, and it just blew us away, and we were just over the moon, excited and happy about that.
It was definitely a very successful project. The end outcome of the project was definitely matched, or actually bested, the proposal that we initially made to the client, and he felt the same. So it was very successful.
How we incorporated Thebe's CI was we used a lot of their corporate identity colors. We used a lot of the African elements in terms of patterns in the cushions, the rugs, and another element that we added was the stucco wall finish, which you can see behind me here. It's quite a raw finish look, and it just brings in that earthy element texture.
Yes, we also included a lot of natural and neutral finishes, organic touches, which also speak to the nature of the business as well. And we looked at how we could also create a more approachable and comfortable environment for the staff through all of these different finishes. So creating a professional but still comfortable environment for the staff, which is exactly what they wanted. So working with Thebe has been very eye-opening, and it has actually been a very pleasurable experience. Our main point of contact was Ibrahim, and I know everyone wants to say that they have an amazing client, but we really did enjoy working with Ibrahim. He was our main point of contact as the project lead from the Thebe side, and he was always filled with excitement and enthusiasm for the project every single step of the way, from its inception, from being a messy construction site. Even when he was a little bit skeptical, he still showed enthusiasm and trusted our professionalism every step of the way, accompanied with many jokes and laughs. So it was very enjoyable working with him on this project. Internal Developers strives to implement sustainable principles on every project, and Thebe was no exception. So the way we applied sustainable principles was to use energy-saving light fittings, as well as introducing natural plants, as well as always using local suppliers and local manufacturers.
Part of the project I enjoyed the most was coming to site and seeing it come to life, from the 3D renders and fly through, seeing a white box and then seeing it come to life was just something spectacular. And for you, Hev?
No, I agree. I always enjoy the conceptualizing and the designing of the project. Sometimes site gets a little bit messy and Kimon prefers that part, but then I do enjoy seeing the finished project and also seeing the response from the clients at the end and making sure that they're very happy with the results.
Some of the key areas in the office obviously include the reception, the main boardroom, open plan and pause area. I think my most favorite part of the office fit out is the pause area. Just using all the elements that we introduced in there, using the black cupboards, the black appliances, and then using the green metro tiles in the back with the white stone top. Just my favorite in the office, and that's how I want my kitchen to look. So yeah, I don't know what's your favorite, Ted?
My favorite part of the office is actually the journey within the space. So as you come in, there's always, so I don't think it's one key element within the space. It's like the continuous journey that you feel as you walk through the office. It's different spaces, different elements, but they're all tying to the same look and feel. So yes, I think that is, I do love the green tiles and the pops of green throughout the space, like this wall, but I think holistically the whole office just ties in and is amazing. We work really well as a team. I think we complement each other like crazy, like in a very weird way. Like our design, our thinking is always, it just builds on from each other. So even if there's a difference of opinion, I'll call Kimon out for it and I'll just be like, I'll do it better.
No ways.
Or he'll be like, he just will disregard my opinion and he'll just do what he wants. But then in the end, it actually still works because then we just always like, it gets better and better, yeah.
I think for all young designers that want to come into the field of work, there are a lot of hard hours that need to be put into this field. There's a lot of late nights, weekend works, but I think from a positive side, if you're a visionary and you want to see your work come to life, I think it's the best thing in the world to do. Looking at inspiration images, looking at plans, and then seeing it come into 3D real life is outstanding.